All right, good morning. Great to see everybody. It's great to be back in Anderson. Love training camp. Vacation's great and all that, but, it's great to be back to work. I know there's a lot of happy wives out there that their husbands are back to work. It only take about 2 or 3 weeks of this stuff with us, but I'd like to thank President Pistol, the entire AU staff, all that they do, the way that they accommodate us, and they've got this set up to where, we can have a productive, successful training camp. We're not here for a long time. We got a lot of work to do. Obviously, there's a lot of, excitement surrounded this 2015 team and this season. But like I said, we got a lot of work to do, and we got a short amount of time to get it done.
Chuck, how will you work Vic back? We just talked to Vic. How will you work him back into the?
We got to be very, very smart. He's been cleared. Obviously, he's worked his tail off. He's been on one heck of a journey, trying to get back. And, to his credit, it takes, perseverance and resolve and a ton of grit to do what he's done and to, go through what he went through. But we'll be very, very smart with how we, introduce him back to football. And we'll keep an eye on the number of reps that he takes. He'll do individual period, do some things that, based on our trainers and our docs, they'll kind of keep an eye on him. And we'll start him out real slow and introduce him, real slow. And then based on, how he feels, the lines of communication got to be open, between, coaches, trainers, Vic, and, as he progresses, then we'll ramp that up.
Chuck, what about the rest of your guys? Who will start on the pup list for you guys?
We had 2 guys, Robert, who's active PUP, and Donald Thomas, active PUP, and they'll both be week to week.
Any idea on Robert? I mean, you say week to week, but do you have expectations in your head or not?
Week to week.
Chuck, how are you a different coach than you were a year ago or 2 years ago at this time?
I'm not.
Same guy?
Same guy. I mean, these guys they wouldn't know what, if I walked in there and was somebody different, I mean, it's all about consistency. We got to be better in a lot of areas. I got to be better. We got to play better, coach better. We got all areas that's why we're at training camp, is to, get better, one day at a time. And so, for me to, turn into Dr. Jekyll, I don't think that's the answer.
Chuck, you mentioned the long journey that Vic's been on. Do you feel for a guy or pull for a guy that he has the ACL, he comes back and then he's out here for a day or two, and then he...
How can you not? Love that kid. You think about what he did for this football team, and then in 2012, he's a warrior. He's a great player. He's a great teammate. You want to, that's a foxhole buddy. You want to take him downtown with you. Because he's going to have your back. Just think back to the Tennessee game and the corkscrew touchdown to win in overtime, right? We got the picture on the wall, and that's the epitome of what it means to, play like a Colt and what we're looking for. So, yeah, you feel for all of them. You don't want to see anybody get hurt. But it's great to have him back.
And if he makes a full recovery with Frank and Boom, and it's pretty deep running back group.
Deep. Great competition. Great competition. I'm excited as heck to see it. I bet you guys are as well.
Chuck, with Robert, I know it's maybe too early to speculate, or I don't know, but it seems like from talking to people and even since I've gotten from you is you guys want to bring him along slowly. Certainly he's an aging player, very serious injury. I mean, is that a factor in maybe not committing?
Yeah, I think we'd be, I think we would be foolish not to consider, all those things that you just talked about, Stephen. Just like Vic, it'd be, stupid on our part just to say, okay, hey, you're healthy, you've been cleared, throw him to the wolves, and expect him to go out there and perform and, take the reps that a healthy, 22-year-old would take that's been through no circumstances, hadn't had a season-ending, injury, let alone back-to-back seasons. So we got to be very, very smart with Robert. He knows that. We're all on the same page. Again, the lines of communication are open, and so and we just got to stick to the process, and be patient. because everybody's chomping at the bit. You guys are chomping at the bit. He's chomping at the bit. We're chomping at the bit. Position coach is chomping at the bit, and it's like, slow down. We got a long way to go. It's a long season.
Hey Chuck, obviously you guys added pieces on offense. Andre and Andrew and some other receivers worked on the offseason. How big is that for them to spend that time away from the facility to continue to work on that continuity?
It's awesome. You're building chemistry. Not only the chemistry as far as throwing and catching, but building the relationship. And the communication and the trust and all those things. So, hats off to all those guys for sacrificing whatever they gave up from a vacation standpoint to do what they needed to do. And I think it was outstanding. And I know they got together on a couple, 2-3 occasions to do that stuff. So it's fantastic.
Chuck, the decision to release guys a week or so ago, was that as much about the confidence that you have in the other guys that can play there, or was there something else behind it?
Really, every decision we make, Conrad, is based on two things. What's best for the team, what gives us the best chance to win. Gaz, he was instrumental in the last 2 years in all the success that we had, and he played obviously a vital role for the last 2 years in the success that we have. He's a warrior. He's a good football player, and we wish him well. And I can't thank him enough for everything that he did for this organization. But again, we made a decision based on what's best for this team and gives us the best chance to win.
Along that line, Chuck, you guys have always stressed the versatility, cross-training of your offensive line. Are you confident that you've got 5 guys you think will develop as a group, and barring injury, you'll be all right?
Absolutely. We've got a great group. I love that room. I love their mindset. You guys, again, proof will be in the pudding. And, starting this afternoon, we'll start to develop, the identity of not only this entire team, but that room and the offensive line. And, our goal is to obviously find those 5 starters as soon as possible so that we can have that continuity and the communication is there.
Chuck, Gore and Johnson have both been pretty quiet guys over the years, at least on the outside. What have been your first impressions of them as veterans inside the locker room?
Again, they're not gonna say much. Their actions obviously speak louder than their words, but they're not afraid. They're championship caliber football players, and they played winning football for a long, long time. And so they're not afraid, to lead when they have to lead, not only on the football field, but if they got to get in the locker room, they got to grab a young guy, and say, hey, listen, pal, we need you to do this, this, and this. And you want to be a great pro, you got a ton of talent, you got great upside, the future looks very, very bright. Because I know somebody did that for them, a long time ago. And so we got a bunch of guys. Those are 2 guys that, again, personal accountability when it comes from player to player, and they hold each other accountable and they hold each other to, high expectations. Then you really got something. We got a great group in that locker room.
Chuck, you guys are a couple days away from going full pads. What do you try to focus on, try to get accomplished these first couple of days leading up to?
Again, we're trying to evaluate and see where these guys are from a mental standpoint, how much retention there was. Again, see what kind of shape they're in. We ran the conditioning test. All the rookies, all the first-year players had to run it. There were some selected vets that had to run it. Everybody passed. They ran it tremendously. They look in great shape. We got a good-looking football team right now, but we're trying to become the identity that we talked about all off season, and develop that mindset and build a smart, tough football team, and a pressure-proof, football team. And so, just like OTAs, we're limited because it's helmets, it's spiders, it's jerseys, all those type of things. We got to do a great job of competing and playing fast and tempo, but at the same time taking care of one another and make sure that we come out of this thing as healthy as possible, day in and day out.
With Jack at right tackle, obviously he took a big chunk of snaps there and during OTAs and stuff. What's the biggest transition for him going from that left guard to a right tackle?
The good thing about Jack, he's played them all, and so he's a really bright guy. He's a tough guy. He's a selfless guy. He'll do whatever we ask of him, and he'll do whatever he has to do to help this team win. And so he's been, like you said, he's gotten some snaps there. Obviously, he's going to get a significant number of snaps in this training camp, and so I really don't, I don't think there's any obstacle other than perfecting his craft, day in and day out, and becoming a better player each and every day.
Chuck, Nate Irving is good to go, or at least he'll practice. And
Again, he's like Vic as far as a PTM guy, practice time modification. So we'll be smart with how we introduce him back into football. Right now the plan, for Nate is to come out, go through walkthrough type of situations. And then we'll evaluate him on a daily basis, and as he progresses and gains confidence, in a knee that's been cleared by the doctors and all those things, then we'll ramp up the activity when it comes to the team drills and individual.
With the defense, I mean, you're sort of limited. OTAs, what you can do. There's no contact and all that. Is this starting whenever Tuesday? Is that when you're going to really see what you've got on defense to where?
Well, we're going to go out here. We got bags, and sleds and things like that, and we still got helmets on, and you play with your hands in this game, and you play with the that right L that's sitting right here, and you try to put the screws of your helmet on people. We can still put those on sleds, and heavy ones, that don't move very easily. So you can still, even in soft gear, not banging on each other, but we certainly got enough equipment out there that we're going to try to tear up, leading up to pads and get ourselves ready to go that way.
There's a lot of expectations. There's a lot of expectations and hype from fans and from all us. Do you guys embrace that or ignore it?
Love to be in that conversation, right? We put those expectations on ourselves day one. We got together back in 2012, and so any pressure that I put on myself or on this team or the players put on themselves, shame on us. We're in a great spot, and I wouldn't want to be in any other spot. The other end of the conversation, no thank you. This is where you want to be. This is what we strive to build. Day one, we talked about building a program for sustained success. We got a lot of work to do, but we love being where we're at. And blinders are on, and the earmuffs are on. Total focus on today, getting better today. All the outside noise, can't listen to it. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Kevin.